Welcome back to another faction review, guys. Yes, we're going to be going over, as we've been doing so far, each of the factions on the Godforge.gg index, and it has been getting updated as I know, and I'm going to go back to some of the new ones a little bit later, so just hold your horses. But we are going to go through the TIAN faction today. We're going to go through all the commons, uncommons, rare epics to the legendaries, and just kind of give it a feel of what this faction is all about, what heroes kind of are the standouts in my opinion, and what ones are kind of maybe just not on my radar. Let's just say that. So you know what to do, guys. Smash a like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to join a Pantheon, check out the description down below, because we do have a Pantheon, boys and girls. We're in Camp Half-Blood. There's me and many other content creators you can see here, all highlighted for you, all a part of Camp Half-Blood. So if you're looking for a variety of different types of content, a different opinion on loads of different heroes, we should have you covered. And we have a bunch of some Pantheons, from casual gaming to semi-pro to pro, to the hardcore degenerates like myself. So you've got all of this here in Camp Half-Blood, and you can see you can join it through the Raven Pyros link that is in the description down below. And mentioning Raven Pyros, we will be using his amazing website just to go through any of the buffs, debuffs, as well as the disables that are basically attached to any of these heroes, just in case you're a new player, you have no clue what the hell I'm talking about, and don't worry, everyone starts new, and you've got to get those beginning steps in. So with that, let's dive into today's video. Hopefully you enjoy it. Smash like, comment, and subscribe, and let's dive into the fun stuff, right? So we have the TIAN faction here, and obviously, like I said, we are going to get to the legendaries. So if you want me to talk about any of these legendaries, I would recommend going towards the end of the video, because that's when they're gonna be around, and we will be going from left to right, so just keep an eye out for that. It's really easy to honestly find heroes without timestamps, I'm gonna be honest, right? Just skip through. But we've got the commons and uncommons. I like to start from the bottom and up, because yes, a lot of these are going to be food, but there is, as we've seen from a good example in the Virage faction, a good uncommon like Vila, right? This is a hero that is a slayer, gets an extra turn, but actually has an early chance of getting a defense down 2 buff, right? You got to think, when you're looking at uncommons, yes, they're not powerful, yes, they're not crazy, but they might have some early access to a mechanic that you may need for a dungeon, for any sort of the tower pushing, you name it, right? So that's why I kind of like to go through them. The commons, though, the Gongshu Jade Archer here, Disruptor, he's going to come in with an initiative down with 340% attack on there, but it's only a 35% chance. His ultimate, though, is attacks all enemies, 25% chance to reduce the divinity of each target by 5. Nothing crazy here. This is definitely something food related, but if you need a challenge, maybe for 3 stars in your campaign that needs initiative down 1, keep this hero just so you can place that down, get the star completed, and move on, so you can get all of the rewards as you punch through it, right? Moving into the Shield Bearer, this is a common defender. He's able to place a 40% chance on a blunt 1, and has a decent, again, kind of a little bit of skill in there on how much damage he's dealing. But what's really cool is early on, protection 1 and defense up 1 on a single ally for 1 turn. I know it's not a team-wide one, but look, it's, again, early access to these mechanics. If you need them, you can use them in these campaign 3-star challenges just to get online, right? So that's kind of why we go through the commons. You can see why there's something in there. But now we've got the Shaolin Monk, and I'm not going to lie, we look like we've got Aang on screen. We've got the Airbender himself online, guys. So his basic attacks 1 enemy, 200% attack. If the target is aligned, though, with chaos, this increases the damage inflicted by 30%. So basically, it's a tailored hero here, and you can kind of see it on the core without reading it. It's kind of glaring at my face. I can't miss this, right? But if you're going against chaos-based teams, this might be good. Why am I mentioning this? think about the towers again. We don't know really how the towers are going to work properly, right? We can assume it might be like Doom Tower in the Raid Shadow Legends, but it could be also something completely different. And I had the assumption if you picked like the Tower of Chaos, you might have been going against the Chaos teams, but you had to only use Order units, right? So depending on what tower you pick, the alignment of Order or Chaos is depicting what units you can bring to the table, right? And this is one of those heroes that might not sound crazy on paper, but if you bring it into the right area, might be surprised at just how much damage you can actually come out with, right? The cause attacks one enemy 130% 2 times, it's okay. 35% chance to increase the divinity, though, of this hero by 25. That's not too shabby. But you also place an initiative up 1 on this hero for 2 turns if the target is aligned with Chaos. So again, if I target a Chaos unit, I'm going to get initiative up 1 guaranteed, and I get a 35% chance of getting 25 divinity, getting me to my ultimate, which says attack 1 enemy 250%. If the target is defeated, we place sharpen 1 on this hero for 2 turns. It's okay, guys. I'm not gonna lie, it's nothing too crazy, but it's an interesting kit to look out for. It's these type of kits I am on the fence about on how powerful they're gonna be, depending on what the content in Godforge looks like, right? So, Shaolin Monk, not too shabby, not too shabby. Terracotta Warrior is next, the Brawler, the Living Statue. And I'm going to be honest, before we go into the skills, I love this design. I don't know about you guys, but it's like the Mortal Kombat belt. I can see whoever's done it. I love you guys for that. It is a blast from the past, right? But what's also cool, I don't know if you guys have realized, but the way this looks is almost like the old Terracotta Warriors in the like mummy films, right? The old school mummy films, if you remember those bad boys, right? Absolute banging films. And it does remind me of those guys in there. So I absolutely love this design before we go any further. One of the cooler ones from nostalgia point of views for an uncommon. So he is, just to go back into it, a Brawler. Attacks 1 enemy, 6% HP 2 times, so he's a multi-hit. That's not too shabby. Each hit heals this hero 10% of the damage. That, again, isn't too bad if it's a crit. So we can build a bunch of HP, get 100% crit, and he's a self-sustaining basic attack. And, again, in the right areas, we might be surprised where we can pull this out and do some good old work with. Attacks 1 enemy, 7% HP 2 times again. Guys, that is a double multi-hit, core and basic. And if we need to go to a dungeon that requires us to do as many hits as possible to break a shield, to then deal damage, guys, we're going to need someone like this. Even if it's not doing the most amount of damage, his job, though, is to break that counter, get the counter to 0, and let your main DPS break through the damage, right? So just keep an eye out on stuff like this, right? Each hit has a 35% chance as well. Speed down 2 for 2 turns. Really good little core there on the uncommon. Holy smokes, ultimate. Attacks 1 enemy 3 times, and each hit decreases the target's enemy by 10% if it crits. So again, 2, 4, 7 attacks this guy can bring. That is huge. And especially if you think about, you can hit the basic, go into the ultimate. You can go caught into the ultimate. That is 5 attacks. That's a lot of burst breakage on these maybe multi-hit barriers that we might come across in the game. Obviously, there's going to be better heroes, I'll be honest, epics, right, and that. But early game, you might not have them. And this is why I love going through these uncommons, because some of these uncommons in the game do fulfill a very niche role that you may need in dungeon content and in the tower content and wherever it is, Godforge content related. So it's actually really sick to see that, right? Moving on, though, this is where things are going to get spicy. This is where you guys get really, really happy. I'm going to be honest. It's the rares, it's the epics, and we're getting into the dessert, the legendaries. And the thing is, the rares in here look really freaking cool. And one of the all-stars did get a little nerf. And we're going to talk about that in today's video. But we're still going to open up how powerful these guys are, right? So Changi or Changji, I think it's Changi from how I pronounced it from Smite, because it is an amazing healer in Smite. She's an invoker here, and you can see we've got the Lunar Blessing, Serene Ascendant, Moonlight Shroud, and Spirit Elixir. And it seems like this Spirit Elixir is maybe some sort of actual based healing passive, something similar to like Ladder that we've seen previously on one of these faction videos that has a healing based passive. And she could be bringing a bunch of cool utility to the team. So we're going to have to find that. Shroud makes me feel like it's going to be a Vanish enabler potentially. But again, we will have to wait and see until we get more info on Chang'e. Dio-chan is the same. Another hero I know from playing games like Rise of Kingdoms and Call of Dragons, and even the game I play on my other channel, Age of Empires Mobile. She's a really cool princess, the Sable Lady. Unfortunately, again, same issue. No clue what we're going to have here. One little bit though, Seductive Orbit. It has the symbol. I'm honestly assuming the core is going to have some sort of charm mechanic related to it, but we've got to wait again until we see more info on this hero. So I'm loving to see these though. These are like really iconic names, especially in this dynasty, so love it. Guan Yu as well. We know Guan Yu, the Alpha man, and as many people would have known, I played Alphas 1, 2, and 3, and each Alpha wave, I actually chose a different starter. So I've actually played with Lady Shock, I've played with Ramses, and I'm playing with Guan Yu. And the thing is, Guan Yu is an absolute powerhouse, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I actually prefer now Guan Yu over any of the other starters for a multitude of reasons, which makes his kit so good. So firstly, his basic just does damage. It's nothing crazy. It's a 320% hit, so it does bonk. But what's cool is if they're under a drain effect, you do additional damage equal to 5% of their max HP. And I'm gonna be honest, when you get this in a joint attack situation, Guan Yu can deal a lot of damage, especially to bosses. He can nuke bosses so well with just a bit of joint attack synergy in this team at the minimal level, right? But what makes him really valuable, and I mean this is what makes him really valuable, is the core. The core gives you an 80% chance to place a Drain 2 on the target for 2 turns, right? So if we just go into this, a Drain 2 says this hero receives 20% increased damage and the attackers heal 20% of the damage inflicted. So what this means is this is going to increase your damage by 20%, and the damage you inflict onto that target with the drain on them is healing you for 20% of the damage you deal. It is a really good sustain tool. I cannot deny this. Having this in your kit, honestly, makes you realize sometimes in the right team synergy, you don't need a healer, which sounds criminal, I know. But I have played combos in the Alpha experience that was just Shamash Aphrodite for the double joint attacks, Guan Yu, and the Gilgamesh. And all we did was self-sustain through damage, through joint attacks on the drain, and we just blew up people. And if we could blow up 3 people and there was only 1 guy left, we could honestly just rotate a turn or 2, get cooldowns back off cooldown, go to the next wave of 2 or 3, do the exact same thing. Then we're on the 3 of 3, and then we can finish the whole thing. So this is honestly underrated, and I don't think people realize how good having a Drain 2 in your team. And the crazy thing is when you get a Drain 2 and you put it with like an Isolde, which you're going to get access to early on, or any healer at all in the game, your team sustain is so good. Honestly, it is ridiculously how good that is. So honestly, core ability in Guan Yu, such a powerhouse if you guys haven't guessed it. The ultimate as well attacks all enemies, which is really cool, but he attacks 2 random enemies as well on top. And if an enemy is defeated, you place initiative up 2 on yourself to get to your ultimate sooner, and you get your ultimate by just defeating enemies. So you can honestly get this rolling very, very fast, and you do 20% increased damage to people under drain. So Guan Yu, if you've not realized it, is a absolute monster, giving you 20% attack in all battles too. Like, come on, man. Like, insane. He is definitely unyielding in general. He is a monster. So if you're wondering about picking a starter hero, I would recommend it. I'm not gonna lie. He's gonna be my pick that I'm gonna be going for myself. Moving on though, Lubu. I absolutely love Lubu, and it's scary because Lubu is in my game, and I'm gonna be honest, I do like the direction of the model, but for some reason I really dislike his face. I don't know what it is, but I really dislike this face. I don't know what it is. He looks like an action man almost. It's not cool, bro. But everything else, on point. The Garm, perfect. The Ripper Tiger, like, what we call it, because that's in our game, we call it the Ripper Tiger. It's this skill, it's the weapon he's wielding. It's his actual, like, iconic war lance, if you want to call him a war lance. But yeah, absolute crazy here. So I'm glad to see him in here. Surprised he was a rare, but hey ho, I love to still have him in. When this hero though has barrier, you inflict extra damage and reduce damage. So if you look down now, you attack one enemy, 10% HP, and you put 2% of your HP as a barrier on yourself. So you, again, basic attack, nice self-sustaining attack. Caught, attacks one enemy, 15% HP, really good. If this hero has a barrier, 50% chance to place Despair. And now that is a very powerful ability. This is going to stop people from getting positive buffs. This could be any sort of blue buff, as you can see up here. But also, as we got confirmed, it does stop stuff like turn meter increase and divinity increase, because these are classed as positive effects, right? So, really, really cool that this is in your kit. Is it gonna be game changing? No. But what I do like about this, and this is again why I really like this type of early game heroes, we get access to Despair. And I'm gonna be real, if we can get Despair and we can basically get this online with a good little bit of barrier in our team, we won't need to rely on using our basic, because obviously at the moment it wants to go basic into core. But if I can use someone else's core, place a barrier, and then use this core, and then use the basic after, I'm going to prefer that, because it's going to make my core come off cooldown sooner, let me get potentially another Despair off, which is going to be more powerful over time. The ultimate attacks all enemies, 80% chance to place blunt 1 for 2 turns. This is going to reduce your, I think it's strong hit damage. So yeah, strong hit damage, strong hit chance for blunt. So this is going to make it so whoever, if you are, for example, wisdom, if I remember correctly, and you get attacked by a cunning hero, so grass beats water, water beats fire, fire beats grass, right? That's the way I'm remembering it. If cunning hits wisdom, cunning has an increased chance to strong hit, which makes their damage amplified a little bit more. And that does also increase. So having that blunt, reducing the strong hit chance and reducing the strong hit damage is quite big for you. It allows you, as you can imagine, as a strength-based hero, not to worry about as many wisdom-based heroes hitting you with big damage. And the passive says when this hero has a barrier, you do inflict 20% increased damage reduced by and reduce damage received by 20%. When you awaken in 5, also this hero's barrier by 5% of the damage inflicted. Okay, so I do like that. So he's actually quite nice then. Having the Awakening 5 definitely changes a hero, right? Being able to use any of your skills to deal damage, having like a retaliate, right, would be really good with this hero, because that means every time you attack, you're going to get a barrier, plus the retaliate is going to be the barrier of the 2% on top. So you're going to get a nice chunk of just barrier, you know, push through this. So I actually quite like that on here. This may be one thing you want to look out for, guys. Retaliate on a Lubu based character here, because this is definitely what you would want to try and do to just abuse an Awakening 5 to keep getting barrier to always have this uptime on the core. And that's where I think the power on this Lubu really is in this core. So quite like it 18% HP in campaign battles, to be honest, you are going to be spending a lot of time in campaign early doors. So this might actually be okay just for the early phase, right? Especially if you've picked like a Hercules. Imagine you picked Hercules, you get a Hippolyta, you get this guy. Bruh, you're going to be cooking with gas with these brawlers, man. A new brawler team, not too shabby. So we've got Ma Chao, and the sad part about him, or Macau, I don't know if it's, I think it's Ma Chao, because, or Masao. Oh no, is it Macau? I think it's cow because there's a H. It might be. It's one of the two, because I know there's Sao Sao, which is just C-A-O, so I'm guessing Cow with the H, so Macau. He's not my cow, bro. He's not. I'm not saying it. I don't know what his name is. But we've got the abilities here. Cavalry General, Avenger's Blade, Warrior Spirit, and Ambition's Vengeance. And I'm going to be honest, compared to every of the other one, this is a Slayer. I have no clue what this guy's going to do. No freaking clue, guys. Cavalry General, cool. Symbols green. Is this going to be a heal of some sort? I don't know. This looks like he's going to punch hard. This looks like a buff of some sort. And again, this is a passive. So we don't know at all what he does. Compared to the other two heroes that had kind of more clearer ideas of what their skills could be from their icons and names, my boy here isn't, revealing his secrets. But we do have one guy left in the rares, and this is the one I wanted to talk a little bit more on, like Guan Yu too. It's Shishi, because Shishi was one we played with in the alpha. And the sad thing is, from the alpha to now, this hero has undergone a nerf, right? And I think it's just because of the changes of these heroes. So what you may notice, out of every rare hero, when you awaken them, they normally only have one awakening. Meaning, when you look at this hero, his awakening is on awakening 5, right? Steadfast. And I can go to any of these other heroes like Guan Yu, and we've only got one awakening ability. And I can do this to any one. Honestly, any single one, right? It's just one. And I think this is a direction the team have gone since alpha, where rares only get one awakening. Epics get 2 awakenings, and legendaries actually get 3 awakenings, meaning their abilities can potentially upgrade 3 times in their kit. And because of that, they've changed the direction of rares. Shishi did get a little bit of a nerf in the aspect of he did have on his core ability, as many people remember, the ability to join attack with TIAN allies, meaning if you awakened this boy, this good old doggo, you was able to use your Wukong, your Guan Yu, your even Lubu, right? And if you pressed the core ability, they all joined in on the attack, and it was really freaking cool. He doesn't do that anymore, and I'm a little bit disappointed. I'm a little bit sad. I would love to see that as a return. However, the hero is still really good. And the thing is with this hero, if you are going down a defender playstyle, let's just say you picked Athena as a good example, picking this guy would be perfect for your type of teams, because he is a defender joint attacker baked in no matter what from the core in the get-go. So if you really wanted to be cancerous, you could run, this guy with an Athena, with a Brynhild, and even like a Heimdall. Let's just be honest with ourselves, like in the end game. And if you didn't have Heimdall, let's just say Tristan as a rare example, right? Anytime we press shield, we're healing because of the Athena passive. Anytime we press our core now with this guy, all defenders attack. And yes, the defenders are not designed to do damage, but when you get all of them to attack together, you are actually doing a big chunk of damage. And you're playing like a massive turtle, right? You're this turtle that's forward hitting back once you've tanked up and taken the brunt damage from your enemies, which is a really cool play style, completely different. And Shishi still is going to be a part of that type of comp. And he's still going to be a fantastic, placement in any team when you get him. This is because when you look at the basic, attack down 1 for 2 turns. Really good with a 50% chance. That is huge. Already, we've talked about the core having the joint attacks, but he also places Protect on all allies, and Protect allows you to, if you guessed it, not take as much damage. So all of the allies take basically 40% of their damage and transfers it to your Shishi. So then your Shishi just needs to be healed up more harder compared to everyone else. Makes it a little bit, obviously one of those sustained battles, but it's fine. And the ultimate places 150% defense barrier or shield on all allies, and then you reduce his hero's core ability down by 1 turn, allowing you to get this off again more sooner. You also place Taunt on an enemy Slayer for 1 turn, so whoever is a Slayer in their team, you get this Taunt off. I don't believe it's going to trigger on anyone else. It's specifically Slayers, so if there isn't anyone, unfortunately you're not getting it. You're only getting this 1 line of text, which is still fine. But what makes him really good, especially in a lot of dungeons, is this passive. And you can get this on an imprint too. Heal 5% of your max HP on an ally when an enemy places a debuff on him. And obviously the imprint says heal this hero instead. So a lot more different since alpha. But you can still put this as an early game imprint for healing onto any hero. And if you're going in these bosses that are fully debuffing you and placing bleeds, for example, guess what? You're going to be laughing because you're going to be healing all the time. So he's honestly a really good hero still. He just doesn't have the TIAN joint attacks. And that is just because, again, as I've said, it's the direction you can see the devs have gone in the power of these heroes. So if you go to the epics now, you might understand what I'm going to say. So if we go into these epics now, we've got a double awakening, right? We've got an awakening 3 and an awakening 5 now, right? And this is a defender, Hu Yi, which is interesting that they've made him a defender, being the sunburned marksman, the man with literally the sun arrows and stuff. It's kind of cool. I thought he was going to be a slayer, but nope, they really caught us off guard. But he has a basic ability, attacks 1 enemy, does a nice bit of damage, places intercept on the ally with the lowest HP for 1 turn, but if Chang'e is on the same team, she joins the attack. So if we just kind of go back here, you gotta think, if this hero, we can't see her, is involved, whatever this ability is, it's going to have a little bit more value in this combo, right? Because it must be something with a 1-turn clock on to get potentially a joint attack, to get 2 turns of maybe the same buff. Maybe it's some sort of healing that's there. Who knows, right? But definitely important to keep an eye on for this bit. Or attacks all enemies for 40% chance and to play stun for 1 turn. But if Chang'e again is on the team, so if this girl is on the team, you get to place protection 2 on her. So this means 40% of that damage, again, transferred from her onto your Hao Yi. And then when you awaken 5 this hero, it says if Chang'e is on the team, you actually place protection 2 on all allies. Now that is much better. Much better. But the issue is, it's an awakening 5 ability, which is quite huge. It's going to take you a little bit of time to get there. Let's be honest, you're going to have to try and find multiple copies of this hero, right? And, well, let's be honest, 6. You need 6. You need him, and then 5 more. So it's going to be one of these where, I reckon he's going to be good. I actually think he's going to be good. I just think he's going to take a little bit of work to get into. His ultimate removes all blaze. That's interesting. From all allies except this hero. If there has a 75% chance to place attack down 2 on all enemies except the target for 2 turns. And if there are no other enemies alive, you place blunt 2 on the target. And when an ally receives blaze, there's a 50% chance this hero receives it instead. So, really weird. So, this feels like maybe we're looking at, I'm going to be real, maybe we are looking at another MrSneakyy situation. You know what I'm saying? You got another MrSneakyy situation. This hero, his passive, and it's got Awakening 3 attached to it. That's interesting. That means then he's designed for some sort of content. There's no way they've gone this hard on an epic hero to basically allow your team to place Blaze on him, for him to remove the Blaze and then basically to attack down onto a target. And the way this is working too is like you want to target, let's say, a totem, and then if you target the totem, everything, including the hag, all gets attacked down too, right? But if there's no other allies available, you just put Blunt 2 on the hag. That's a really good way of explaining how this, like, skill works. It definitely feels like he's built for something. I don't know what. And that's what's scary, because we've seen this, like I said, of Metazili, the legendary Omeyokan healer, right? When this ally receives Blaze, there's 75% chance he was, yeah, like, it definitely seems it. Okay, he's on my radar. He is on my radar. Who ye? Keep an eye on this guy, guys, because this could be one of those defenders he was. Yeah, he was a defender that you may be needing for one of the dungeons that we just don't have enough information on at the moment. White TIAN, or I don't even know how to pronounce that. I want to say GU, but it's not GU TIAN. That sounds so wrong, but hey, it's the Dark Lady. Unfortunately, nothing to show. We've got Enigmatic Power, Combat Prowess, Star Florette, which could be a multi-hitter. Flurry normally means multiple attacks in my eyes. And then we've got Mysterious Sabotage, and this is on the passive. And you got the Awakenings on the ultimate, and then the passive, Awakening 3 and Awakening 5 again. So really important to keep an eye on this hero, see what she's going to do. But at the moment, no clue. She is a disruptor though. We have Luo Shen, Invoker, Eternal, and similar to what we've just seen, unfortunately, nothing on this hero at the moment, but the Awakening 3 is tied to the basic, which is quite good, having this basic, which you normally use quite a lot, having some sort of buff to it. Then the core has the Awakening 5 as well. We've got Starry Breeze, Mystic Veil, Luo River Tide, and then the River Maiden. So I don't know what this is going to be, but this definitely looks like some sort of healing baked into the basic. Maybe the veil puts a vanish of some sort of veil, right, into the team to protect them, or maybe it's like a ward effect. Maybe could be a really good option as an invoker, right? So gonna be interesting. Spirit of the River, water based. So let's see what she can do. We've got Niza, another Eternal Brawler though, and we have seen a little bit of this guy in some gameplay, and he does look really fun to use. And he attacks one enemy 3 times for 4% of his HP, plus 50% attack. Each hit has a 35% chance to place Aether Burn 2. This is very powerful, guys. Aether Burn 2 reduces their divinity gain. So you increase weak hit chance, which is super strong, so you make them potentially hit less damage on you, but you reduce the divinity of all allied heroes by 6%. So Aether Burn not alone just stops that target from hitting you hard, it's literally slowing down their team to get into that divinity, to get to that ultimate, to press and nuke you down with a 4-chain combo. Really good, honestly, really good little basic ability. And it's for 2 turns, just think. Core, place attack up 2 on this hero for 3 turns, attacks all enemies for 12% HP, and if this current HP is below 50%, you put Phoenix on him. And the crazy thing is, when you awaken 5, it does not reduce per turn. That is an insanity mechanic. What that's telling you is, as soon as you get below 50% on this hero, you press the core ability, you're guaranteed to revive. You are literally guaranteed to revive unless someone removes the buff or steals, the buff on you. That is insanity, because it's not reducing per turn. I like that. I really like that. And then he can come back in straight away, basic someone. Hell yeah. Ultimate attack 4 times at random. So we've got a good multi-attacker again here. Definitely an upgrade from the rare that we saw earlier on, right? And this is why it's key to look at the rares. You play the rares. They've got the multi-hits. Now we got Nizar unlocked. Boom. We can upgrade and put everything probably on that rare hero onto the Nizar. We're going to be cooking with gas, boys. So we've got that 4 times random hit. Each hit increases turn meter on this hero by 5%. If the enemy is under 8th burn, we ignore 5%. Yeah, this is just nuking, boys. We are just nuking. And the cool thing is the fact that we get that turn meter on each hit. So that means that's a 20% increase in turn meter overall, right? You get 5% plus 5% plus 5% plus 5% plus 5%, right? That's 20%. Just add them all up. It's easy. So that's nice. So that means, again, in the right situations, you can AoE cleave. You can either do the burn again, or if, again, you need to, because you're low HP, press the core and get the Phoenix section off. I like it. Pretty good down hero here. Passive, at the start of this hero's turn, sacrifice 15% of this HP and increase the damage of the next attack by 30%. Holy smokes. But it cannot reduce the HP below 1%, so you can never die. But this, on Awakening 3, increases the next attack by 60%. So he is hitting hard. Oh boy, what a brawler. That's a brawler. Holy smokes, yeah. Now, I'm liking this. It's making me think, right? Has he got any leader bonuses? No leader bonus. We gain Divinity when inflicting damage to enemies. And we get more for targets under 8th burn 2, which is what we do in our basic. So, I like this because we can play him in a multitude of ways. We can honestly have just a generic comp, as I like to call them. We could have Nizar in there with a damage dealer, a healer, and maybe a tank, just something simple. We could run like a very hard Aetherburn team and get value off that. We can also run joint attacks with this hero because we get a multitude of these 3 instances of damage, and each time we're doing it, we're doing some extra burst on that first hit potentially from this. Also having multiple chances of placing Aetherburn too. I like him. I actually like him. I didn't think I was going to like him as much as I've seen, but he is looking pretty darn good. And the cool thing is the imprint is, at the start of this hero's turn, sacrifice 15% of this hero's current HP to increase the next attack by 15%. So, again, only half. And that's a pretty good universal imprint that you could be putting on. You got to think, you could use your HP as a resource, because you're going to have healers with mend and burst healing potentially that can heal your team, keep them sustained. So using that HP as a resource is very powerful in this game, I can see. So liking that, Nizar. So we've got Sun Tzu. Oh boys, we've been waiting for Sun Tzu and he's finally here. I have been waiting for Sun Tzu and he's finally here, because he wasn't here on the first time I've ever checked this out on the original hero index. So now let's see what he does. He is, just to show you, an invoker, so he's a support. He attacks one enemy with a 35% chance to mirror one random buff from the target onto this hero, but when you have Awakening 3, you mirror it to all allies instead. So what this means, I believe, is if you target that guy, whatever thing they've got, all of your team get it until they attack, I believe, and then it just disappears because you're mirroring it. You're not keeping it, you're not doing anything stupid, but you keep it for that one turn of them, right? That is very cool. I'm going to be real, if that's how it works on the mirrors. Because again, I've been trying to find a bit information on mirror. You can see there isn't anything, right, on this website, unfortunately. Nothing on there. Even if we scroll up, ricochet, retaliate, mend, no mirror, right? No mirror. And that's just because, again, we didn't have this in alpha, and it's still a little bit of a mystery. All we know from what I've been told is when someone attacks, you basically, if they've got an attack up to, you get that attack up to for that attack, and then it'll come off, right? But if I'm applying a mirror to all allies, I'm assuming I steal, or well, not steal, but I grab that buff and apply it to everyone until they take their turn. And once they take their turn, it comes off. And again, that's not bad at all. especially when you go into the core, accuracy up 2, initiative up 2 on all allies for 2 turns. This also increases the accuracy of all allies by 5%. So this is a 15% on Awakening 5 when it's stacked up. Really good. So you can get to your ultimate sooner, and you can place crowd control. So already liking the look of this. It's not going to be in your typical combos at the moment. We can place vanish on all allies except this hero for 2 turns, and increase the divinity of all allies by 20%, and then place backfire on this hero for 2 turns. So backfire, I believe, is you fire back, literally. When this hero, would gain a non-resisted debuff, you prevent it and you apply it back to them. So if I was going to get an attack down 2 applied to me, backfire says no, you take the attack down 2, which is very, very good. And the vanish, I know I'm not a big fan of vanish, but I can see again where this hero is designed to be, right? Because Sun Tzu here, we just did the video, as you guys know, with the Virage, and De Bruyne here, or De Bruyne, has a really good kit under not De Bruyne. I lied. I'm sorry. I'm still learning all the names. It's a Mayokan. Titslakatsin. That's the boy. This is the one. So if this hero is under Vanish, attacks have a 25% chance to place a random disable. So this is a 50% chance when you have him, right? So just think, Sun Tzu is now able to place this Titsaklatzin in Vanish to allow him to attack to get these random disables. And what's more important, he's placing accuracy up too. That's going to allow you to hit this 40% increase of accuracy. You need accuracy to hit these speed downs. You need accuracy to hit this disable. And if you're constantly being able to put yourself into Vanish and come out and come back in and come out, you can see where I think Sun Tzu wants to be, right? He doesn't want to be with these normal kind of teams. He actually feels like he really does want to be with a Titsaklatzin, right? These Pandoras, these disruptor style teams that really want to lock down the enemy and stop them from doing whatever they planned on doing. So I really like this. I wasn't surprised on that Vanish though, but now we've seen some of the rare heroes and other heroes in the other factions. You can see why this is actually pretty darn good now, right? So you can see Titsaklatzin instant combo with this guy if you got both of these two. The passive says when an enemy 10 meter or divinity is increased, all allies gain 50% of that amount increase, and this can occur once per enemy turn. So that is, again, really good. That just basically means, like, you're not always losing out, right? If they gain, you know, a bunch of divinity, you get 50% of that divinity, then it's your turn. Let's just say you can gain the same amount of divinity in that turn. Guess what? We've just hit the same. We've just overtaken them. We're gonna use our ultimates. We're gonna use our turns before them, right? So quite like that. Quite like this. Sun Tzu, surprising. Oh, and he has 20% initiative in all battles. And he gets 50 divinity generation on buffs on allies. Oh yeah, only 952. So he can place 1, 2. He can place 3, 4 buffs. And what's more importantly, he mirrors one. So he can place up to 5 buffs, and he does this on all allies. Guys, I'm just saying, if you've got Excalibur, 100% a good target for an Excalibur weapon. You're going to go absolutely off on this. He's placing buffs left, right, and center. So Sun Tzu, holy sucks. Master of War with the Art of War. I'm so glad they've put that in here. It's so fucking good. I love it. I love you guys. I love Fateless for doing that, right? Sun Tzu, I'm going to be honest, out of all the heroes so far, he's on my radar the most. Even though I'm not a big Vanish lover, I have started to see heroes like that Titsalakatzin, as I've showcased, that gives me reasons to want to play it now, especially with heroes like this. Very, very, very cool. So, like this guy. Really like this. I can't wait to see some other combos coming out. Then we got Siwang Mu, Defender. Unfortunately, Nothing there. We've got Graceful Command, Cosmic Burst, Nurturing Balance, and Orchid Blessing. No clue what these do, but what I could assume, and if we wanted to guess, Nurturing Balance. This does sound like it could be an equalization. It could be a defender that could equalize HP of some regard. Because if you're nurturing a balance, it could definitely do that, right? So quite like this. Quite like this. It'd be interesting to see what she does, but we can't go too deep into it. So now we're at the creme la creme. We're at the legendaries, and I do want to say, if you've enjoyed this video so far, smash a like, comment, and subscribe. It helps me a ton, guys, and hopefully I've been fulfilling that void of Godforge content, Godforge stuff that you need until we get to play the game in early access or beta, whatever it's going to be called when it comes live, right? So we've got Mulan, Pangu, Sun Wukong, Tialong, and Mr. Yan Wang. I like to call it. I can't believe they called him Mr. Wang, dude. It's Mr. Wang. So interesting heroes. You could have picked Sun Wukong or Mulan, as guys know, and Yan Wang as your Godforge quest heroes. And I know many people picked Sun Wukong, so we will be going over him, don't you worry. But to start off things is Mulan. She is a Slayer, and she has this ability, which is all to do with vanishing. So for Sun Tzu, if you do have a Sun Tzu, you've got a Slayer target as well as a Disruptor target to play with in a team here. And she attacks 1 enemy 2 times for 180%, but critical attacks reduce the target's defense by 2%. This stacks up to 10 times. That's a 20% defense reduction baked into the kit. If you're able to get more joint attacks off with this hero, as you guys can guess, this is going to be really good. Even in long fights, really long bosses in the dungeons, being able to stack 20% defense reduction onto that boss so you can hit harder is going to be really nice too. You can imagine this even maybe in the clan boss being very relevant just to make you do more damage too. So interesting little basic there. Core attacks 1 enemy 370%. Increase the damage inflicted by 10% for each living enemy. So this is always going to be, what, a 40% increase at max. And in certain areas, you can get a 50% increase in damage, which is pretty darn good. Let's be real. You can place Vanish on this hero for 2 turns, which is obviously going to have something to do with it in the Awakening. We'll figure out what that is later down the road. But then the one payoff you do have is this. The ultimate. Attack 1 enemy 3 times. Each hit has a 40% chance to place Drain 2 and Hex 2. So we already know what Drain 2 does. We can deal 20% increased damage to him and heal that damage back. And on top of it, you can see the target. This is on for 2 turns. Hex is really good. Hex is one of the coolest ones that I didn't get to play too much with, but it's a very powerful debuff. 10% of the damage you inflict to that hero gets inflicted to all allies, but this is halved if you do AoE skills. So you can imagine if you put Hex 2 on them and you start absolutely melting them with the basic attack here for your Mulan, yeah, you're going to be absolutely shredding that main target and doing some like extra shrapnel damage basically on the team around, right? Also, if this target is defeated, you decrease the hero divinity cost by 10%, stacks up to 3 times, meaning you get a 30% reduction on this ultimate, which is pretty darn good. But then the awakenings, as you can see now, for a legendary, because there's 3, is if this hero is under Vanish, you ignore 30% of the target's resistance. So with this ability now, it gives you a payoff for having the Vanish. Also, the passive says increase the strong hit chance by 20% under Vanish, which is another payoff. But then Awakening 5, if this hero is under Vanish and would be defeated, you prevent this hero's death and gains them an extra turn. So this is an absolute insane payoff because we've not seen this on any of the other Vanish heroes yet. This allows Mulan to basically, if you are vanished, you have basically immortality on, right? You've got Phoenix on, which is good. This is good. This is the one thing I've been saying with this mechanic I've not liked too much. Vanish doesn't feel like it's going to save you, or the amount of effort you're putting in doesn't feel like it's giving you too much of a reward. Now we are. And I'm liking that. I am actually liking that. So definitely getting much better. Vanish, slowly but surely. But hey ho, it is what it is. 25% attack on dungeon battles, leader bonus is pretty good. Again, I'm going to be honest with this hero. I'm looking at that Sun Tzu, guys. We're looking at Sun Tzu. Maybe there's a rare hero down here that can do Vanish as well. We know one of the heroes in Virage, again, or the Iker faction, also places Vanish in the rare slot. So you can definitely make a Vanish team if you want to make a Vanish team. That's pretty cool if you're going to go down that route. Pangu! Now, Pangu, freaking Pangu. Alpha boy, this guy hit like a freaking truck. Honestly, he's a really interesting hero, and he doesn't play as you expect him to play. But if you understand him, that's where this hero gets kind of crazy. We need to, I think, read the passive first does a lot of work to it, right? If this hero has more initiative than speed, your attacks steal 10% turn meter. Otherwise, if they have more speed than initiative, you steal 10% divinity, right? So depending on what stats higher is what you're going to be doing with this hero. What's interesting is when you start reading his kit, the basic ability attacks one enemy. If this hero has more initiative than speed, you increase their resistance by 1%. Otherwise, if your speed is higher than your initiative, we increase our defense by 1%. And on the Awakening, you also increase your accuracy by 1% when your initiative is more than speed. But if your speed is higher than your initiative, guess what? You're getting 1% extra attack. So you can see you can build him super high initiative or super high speed. Or, as some people tried, which is really interesting, you can try to build him with both very close to each other. So then with a certain weapon that you might have, it might increase your speed, and then it might increase your initiative, then increase your speed, and increase your initiative. And you can do some really funky things with this. The core says place accuracy up 2 on this hero on this for 2 turns. You attack all enemies for your 13% HP. And if this hero has more initiative than speed, you place a defense down 2 on each target for 2 turns. And you increase this hero's speed by 50. So again, if you build him with initiative break, like an initiative in the middle, let's just say you've got 101 initiative and you got 100 speed. What it allows you to do now is toggle between these modes. You can hit the defense down 2, and then you're going to have higher speed, which allows you to then, next time you press your core ability, to place an initiative down 2, because if your speed is higher than your initiative, you get an initiative down 2, and if your initiative is higher than your speed, you get a defense down 2. So again, I know it's very complicated, but the only thing you need to remember with this hero, honestly, is these 2 stats. If you want one outcome, you go for the initiative, which is defense down 2. If you want the other outcome, which is the initiative down 2, you need higher speed. And this is literally how his entire kit works, right? The Awakening 3 says, if this hero has more initiative than speed, you also place an attack down 2. But if you don't, and you got more speed than initiative, then you randomly lock and something on the target. So this could be a lock core, lock passive, lock ultimate. Very powerful ability for 2 turns again. His hero, honestly, is insane to play with, but very hard to build around. Like, anyone will tell you, building his hero is a pain in the ass. But when you build him and you make him correctly and you get the team around him, dude, this guy slaps so hard, it's unreal. The ultimate places resistance up 2 on himself, so he's not going to get basically debuffed and disabled for 2 turns. Then he AoE attacks all enemies, which is nuts. But then, if the enemy has more speed than initiative, you place Drain Down 2 on each target for 2 turns. If then you increase your initiative by 50, which is cool. Otherwise, place Speed Down 2 on each target for 2 turns and decrease this initiative by 50. So as you can see here, we have the ultimate and we have the core for us, which is manipulating our speed and initiative stats. And by manipulating this, we can basically trigger whatever we want to. That's the basic way of running this hero. And I'm telling you, he's a monster of a hero. He's a bane of many people's existence. He could just one-shot your team sometimes with the right builds. It was dirty. His Ultimate Awakening 5 also increases HP by 10%. This stacks up to 5 times. That's a 50% increase in HP. Really important if you've not guessed it, because everything is scaling off your HP, and you are going to be building him with as much HP as you can. He gives you 35% HP in all battles. Absolutely insane. Honestly, absolutely absurd hero. One of the more complicated ones, but so goddamn good. He does AoE, and basically this is just like a little bit of an extra manipulation. Just does a little bit of damage. It's nice, right? But it's these two. Jesus Christ, man. If you guys have got time, I would recommend check out some alpha gameplay footage, and you'll see a Pangu hit, and you'll be like, excuse me, what? And you'll understand why he's an eternal hero. I'm going to be real. So now we've got Sun Wukong, one of the more favorites for most people. As you guys know, many of you have picked him, locked him in for your teams. Really good hero. Honestly, you're going to be wanting to put him as he's your main DPS. You're never going to probably swap him out for a long time. What he does is attack one enemy for 310%. Has that divinity of 5% increase, which is nice. If he joins an attack, you increase his divinity by an additional 5, but you also mirror one random buff from the targets. So whenever you attack and join attacks, you're basically mirroring buffs on them onto you, so you do more damage, or you're more resistance, or whatever it is, you will have it basically, which is nice. It can help you out in the right circumstances, and with his passive giving you a 50% chance here to join attack, you're guaranteed it's gonna work. The core attacks all enemies 2 times, a nice little multi-hit. For each buff on yourself, you increase the damage by 10%. So just think, if you do get all 10 buffs on there, that is a nasty 100% damage increase, as well as each hit has a 50% chance to randomly mirror one buff from a target. This is on your A3, Awakening 3, shall I say, when you get this hero Echo summoned up. Then the ultimate, again, attacks 72% attack, but is 8 times at random, so an insane multi-hit. Each hit has a chance to heal the hero for 8% of the damage inflicted, and increase the turn meter by 8%. If you attack 5 times on the same target, it starts to reduce it by 50%. What's really cool though is when you start to awaken, if a clone strikes the same target more than once, you inflict an additional damage to all other enemies. So if you double hit one guy, you AoE the entire board, which is just sick as fuck, dude. I did not expect it to do that. And if there's no other enemies, there's a 30% chance to inflict damage to the initial target instead, meaning you can double tap that target as well. So either way, this clone rampage is going to do a truck ton of damage on AoE scales, single target scales, and it keeps your monkey alive, which is nasty. The passive on the Awakening 1 says he will always join the attack with a hero from the TIAN faction. And I'm honestly going to tell you, that line of text is insane. Why? Well, we've got echo summons, as I've mentioned throughout the video. If you echo summon your Sun Wukong one time and don't use them as an imprint, even though it's very, I know, like, oh, I want a Sun Wukong to farm Sun Wukong imprints. Everyone would want to do that. But if you can awaken him at least once first, right? Think about this. Any Sun Tzu on that team is going to put him in vanish mode and help him out with that, right? Which is dirty. Anytime he attacks now, Sun Wukong can attack. Anytime Chi attacks, he can attack. Anytime Guan Yu attacks, guess what? He can attack. Anytime any of your invokers attack, he can attack. Even Nizar, if Nizar attacks and Sun Wukong is on that team, I'm telling you, that target is fucking dead, boys and girls. Mind the language, but he is dead. Like, gone. Saranara, motherfucker. Like, literally. So, insane hero. He's probably one of the best, if not top 3, top 5, probably DPS in argument for everyone in the game. Hands down. He is such a good hero. And again, if you've picked him in your Godforge quest, you're definitely in safe hands. The cool thing about him is the fact that you got multi-hits here and here. You can run stuff like Molyneux and he does even more damage. You could run, even, it sounds stupid, bro, but you could run Namasaru on this hero and it would be insane on him. Think every time he joins attacks, he basically mirrors an ability. That mirror doesn't work and then applies a permanent damage and turn meter increase onto your monkey. And every time you AoE, you do the same thing with the Awakening 3. I'm telling you, if you want a Namsaru target, this is the boy for it. And I didn't want to spoil that secret in the Godforge quests because I'm scared to go against it. I'll be honest with you. But that is one disgusting combo for you guys. So we're on the final 2. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Let's get to the finish line here as we hit the 1 hour mark, as we've been doing with these faction videos. I've been trying my best to get through them, but there's a lot to get through, let's be honest with ourselves, right? So we've got TIAN Long, the Heavenly Dragon. He's a defender eternal unit. When his hero intercepts an attack, you heal the attacked ally and place a barrier on them. So if we look down here, same thing, we heal for 100% defense onto the target and then we place a 50% barrier on them, right? So really good defense and healing capabilities already from the get-go. Really nice on there, right? Basic, attacks one enemy, 300% defense. Absolute insane number that is. I've never seen a 300% defense yet. And a 50% chance to place attack down 2 on the target for 2 turns. The only hero we have so far, thing that I've seen with a basic attack down 2 is that Athena, right? Athena does, but she has it on 1 turn, not 2 turns. So you can kind of see maybe the internal coming out here for the dragon. Then we've got the core ability. Place Immortal on his hero for 2 turns, then place Intercept on all allies, except this hero for 2 turns, and if an ally already has Intercept, you increase the duration by 1 turn instead. And while under Immortal, damage received from Intercepts cannot exceed 15% of this hero's max HP. So what this does, and this is very clever, what this does is you place yourself in Immortal. You put Intercept on every single person. Everyone tries to attack your team. They get healed and shielded instead. And what's even nuttier is the fact that you can't exceed basically 15% of your max HP. So no one in any means can one-shot this hero in any given time. And just think, with 15%, that's 15, 30, 45, 60%. That's a 4-man team done. We can heal that back up most likely. We could probably heal 40% of that easily, potentially, with our team. So, really insane tanking capabilities, I think you've got here with your team. The ultimate removes all debuffs from all allies. Really good utility. I love that type of stuff. This type of utility is like, it's up there in my books. This is what I'm looking for. Attacks all enemies, 320% defense, insane as well. Also, increase the defense of all allies by 10%. This is a 30% increase because it stacks 3 times. Increase the duration of intercept on all allies. So, yeah, man. I'm going to be real. Imagine a Shishi with a Tian Long, with a Heimdall, and anyone else. I mean that. It could be anyone else. That team is hurting my head on how insane that sounds. Also resets the cooldown of the core when you press your ultimate. Holy shit. I like this. I really like this. Immortal as well, bro. You think you're able to basically become this. You're basically, oh my god, you're the defender Hercules, bro. You're like everyone's worst nightmare. Like, you're just constantly spamming immortal, so you never die, and all of your team just doesn't take the damage because you intercept it for them. That means if you attack someone with intercept on, it forces you to attack TIAN long. That is, oh, he's so good. Oh, he's so good. Number one hero so far out of the faction, 100%. 30% defense in all battles. So again, if you went down this defender route, you'd be absolutely baking. Like, literally, you can run a TIAN long Shishi. That's like just those two together. Oh my god, those two together already would be absolutely devastating. And just think, guys, like I said, with this combination, you can run something like, you know, Brynhilde, right? We could go into here. Look, Brynhild. We could go into Avalon. There's Gawain there. We could run him inside this. We've got a curve faction. I think Ninurta, yeah, he's a defender. So there's a bunch of defenders you could run in this composition with TIAN long Shishi and just absolutely fry people. Imagine an Athena in there too, dude. Oh my god, the barriers and the shields, and then you heal anytime you get hit by the shield. Oh my lord, that feels horrible. If you want to play tanky setups, I think I've nailed it. Maybe I'm the tank guy. Maybe I make the best tank compositions known to man. Maybe that's the channel, who knows? But holy fucking smokes, boys and girls, right? I'm sorry, but Jesus Christ. So now we get into Mr. Yan Wang, the final hero, the damned king of DU. And we've seen this hero before, and I actually do have a strong opinion on him that I think he might be good in certain things as you push through. But I really do like him in the good old PvP. The reason why I like him is in PvP is because he's too random, I think, for normal stuff, if that makes sense, right? It makes sense because you AoE attack all, which is just disgusting, with a 35% chance to speed down 2 for 1 turn. So if you make your Yan Wang go first and you AoE hit, it's 35% chance. It's the same as a rare hero or an uncommon hero, but it's an AoE instead of one target, and that's what's the difference maker here. This is probably going to land at least on 1 or 2 targets, which isn't too bad. And if it does, that means depending on the targets that you hit, your team should go above them in turn order now. And the basic says if an enemy's already under the speed down 2, instead you get to sleep them down. So if you can join attack a Yan Wang, his potential to sleep or speed down the team is kind of insane, and this might need to be looked at just because of this. If I can multitude attack with joint attack, there's nothing stopping me from sleep locking a team. You know, it'll be the first of its kind, but there's nothing potentially stopping me from sleep locking the team, which is kind of nuts. The core attacks all enemies with a 75% chance to place a random defense down 2, attack down 2, act down 2, or resistance down 2. So this is basically the 4 main stats of the game for 2 turns. You also have Awakening 5. If they're already under the speed down 2, which is from your basic, you place an additional debuff, which is huge. So if you basic, they've got the speed down 2, I basically have a 50-50 chance, right, of hitting what I want. Because, like, is it though? It goes into a 1 of 4. If I miss this, it goes into a 1 in 3. It is still better. but you get 2 debuffs on him. It's making me think on how good he is. Because I kind of like that. But the Awakening's so hard to get to, right? The ultimate is why I like him for PvP. Honestly, this is why I actually really do like this hero. He attacks all enemies again. So triple AoE, by the way, not just like Sizzin, but 50% chance to lock your core and lock your ultimate. That means you can literally only press your basic ability against me for 2 turns. That's huge. That is such a huge turn skip. And you got to think that's 50% of the time. Nuts. The Awakening freeze on the passive increases hero's initiative by 2%. When placing debuffs, it stacks up to 30%. So the more we can keep doing this, the more we get our ultimate. The more we get our ultimate, the more we can basically keep doing this because they're not doing anything. We get our cooldowns back. For each debuff on an enemy, reduce the damage inflicted by 5% up to a max. I like that a lot more now. I like that a lot more. Bro, this feels like a Shinigami on steroids. Am I wrong? This feels like Shinigami on steroids. Like, if I reduce your damage you inflict by 25%, that's so easy. Especially when you awaken this hero. And even with joint attacks, like I said, a joint attack build with this hero, we can go core into joint attack base. We can go one of 2 things. We can go basic, joint attack basic. That could do entire team speed down 2 with potential sleep for 1, maybe 2 targets, or full team if we're super lucky and we roll the jackpot, right? But then the core, again, boom, boom, or just boom, one of them, right? Which is quite huge. So already we can go boom into a joint. Yeah, even then, that's still 2 debuffs. That's a 10% damage reduction no matter what that you do. I actually think this guy is a lot better than I'm giving him credit. But I think he's a lot better than I have been giving him credit for. 19% initiative in all battles too. Like, I'm looking at this from a control perspective, guys. You got to remember, I played Alpha Wave 3, right? In order to win and finish 6th fastest, yes, you needed Zeus, but guess what? Zeus did not win you the fucking speed race. It was knowing when to switch to Mordred, when to switch to Scatter in these final, 10 levels, and having a hero like this in your team that you can put in to literally like get through that wave properly. Holy smoke. Imagine you do get a joint attack with this hero. 1 joint attack, that's all you need. Oh my lord. Well, as you can see, the final hero has literally left us on an absolute cliffhanger. What I'm going to say is this. I think this might be my sleeper pick of the faction. And even myself, I only really did like him for PvP. Because in PvP, I can basically lock down your core, your ultimates, stop you from doing anything basically in PvP. And because of PvP, I'm hitting one of these 4 random debuffs. And because it's random, I didn't really care what got hit. It is what it is. It's a nice bit of damage that you do on an AoE. And that's what's really good for PvP. AoE, AoE, AoE. I'm going to be honest, like all of this AoE plus all of its debuffs and potential disable chance is very, very good. So let me know what you guys think about what Mr. Wang. I'd love to hear everyone's opinions on this hero. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm over hyping him up. But at the same time, at the first glance, when I first looked at him, I wasn't too bothered, and that's probably because I never knew what his awakening abilities were. All we knew was what his basic, core, and ultimate did with the leader bonus. We never knew what awakening 1, 3, or 5 did for any of these heroes. And now we do. It's kind of insane what he's actually potentially able to do. So, very, very, very cool. But guess what? That's the end. That is all of the TIAN allies done, guys. All commons, uncommons, rares, epics, and legendaries. Again, if any of these hero kits like the Shui Tan, Lu Shen, Shang-Yi, Dia-Chan come on the hero decks, don't worry. We'll be doing videos on them for you guys. So if you've enjoyed the video, you know what to do. Smash like, comment, and subscribe, guys. If you want to join myself and other like-minded individuals who just want a game, who wants to help each other, who wants to have a bit of fun along the way, just remember, we do have our Camp Half-Blood. Link will be in the description down below. Just go down, click on that bad boy. We can join. You can see myself already there, boys and girls. I'm in the leaderboard. So, yes, come and join the fun. And until the next one, stay safe, guys. Stay sneaky. Peace out.